Hey guys, welcome to another video, and in today's video I'll be showing you how to make Pong. So if you play this game, so there's this ball or block, and you have a paddle, a blue paddle that you control with your mouse. The goal of the game is to keep the ball in play. If it falls past the paddle like this, then it says game over. Some other things, every time the ball touches your paddle, the score will go up, and the speed will also go up. So yeah, that's our project that we're going to make. Alright, you're going to name this project Pong. Delete the default cat, and draw a new sprite. And for this, we're going to show you a new method of spriting. It's in bitmap mode. I usually do my graphics in vector mode, but for this style, we need to use bitmap mode. How you do this is you zoom in all the way, press this zoom in button until it's at 1600%. Now, as you can see, your cursor kind of has jagged movements. This is kind of like a pixel editor now. So, to make the ball, actually, we're going to make the paddle first. So, select the blue color and just put one line across here. So, 1, 2, 3, 4 pixels. And there we have a paddle. And we're going to rename this sprite Paddle. So we're going to go to scripts, and well, that paddle is way too small right now, obviously, because we zoomed in so much. So we're just going to go to looks and choose a set size to 1000 block. Go to events, when flag's clicked, and put that under there. So when you click the green flag, it's big enough. We need to set an origin point for this paddle. Let's put it at about, set X to 0 and set Y to -140. That sounds good. And so when we start, it goes right around there. So next, we're going to make it move. So this script is actually very simple. All you have to do is go to forever, motion, set X to sensing mouse X. So always set its X coordinate to your mouse's X coordinate. So it can't go up and down, it can only go side to side. So if you play this, it's like that. Alright, that's pretty good. Next, in the next step, we're going to make our ball. Okay, now we're going to make our ball. Make a new sprite, and it's already here because that's where you left off. Choose the red color, and just put one small dot in the middle. Drag out a when flag clicked, and we're going to do the same thing and set the size to 1000. Press play, and it's at 1000. Go to control forever under the 1000. And first of all, we want this ball to always move. So we always want it to keep moving 10 steps for now. And we're going to set its original position to X0, Y 140. So it starts up there. And it goes sideways. So we need to make it originally point in the down direction. And then we're going to go control if touching, oh, that was in sensing, by the way, touching the paddle. So let's choose paddle. Oh, speaking of names, I'm going to rename this ball. Oh, and while we're still here, set the rotation style to don't rotate. You'll see later. If it's touching the paddle, then we want to go to motion and set this to 180 degrees. So turn in the opposite direction, basically. So now I'm gonna play this project, and it goes down, and I hit it, and it goes back up. That's good. But right now, it's not coming back because it's not bouncing off the edges of the screen. So we can easily fix that by just clicking if on edge bounce. It's a very simple block, but it has tons of functionality in it. So let's play this project. That's perfect. But right now it can only go up and down. It doesn't move sideways. So to fix that, we're going to add some randomness. Go to operators, pick random, and a plus. Put the pick random in the right side of the plus sign and put it in here. And for the first value, type 180. What this does is it turns the opposite direction, and then it's going to do some randomness. We're going to add either -20 to 20 degrees. So it has some randomness to it, some variation to the usual opposite. So let's play this project, and you can see that it goes in random directions now. Alright, that's pretty good. But there are still some flaws in this. For example, let me try and reduce the problem. If I do that, did you see what I did there? Basically, when the ball was at the level of the paddle, I basically thrusted it into the ball. And that makes an enormous glitch, which, because later in this project we're going to make it increase score every time it touches the ball, it's just going to make your score skyrocket. So, I'm going to fix that. We're going to make a new script, go to when flag clicked. By the way, I actually wasn't planning on doing this, but I guess this is a freestyle. Pull out a forever block if touching paddle. How about this? If it's touching the paddle for more than 0.2 seconds. So if it's touching the paddle, wait that many seconds. If it is still touching the paddle, then we're going to keep that there until then you're gonna lose, but we haven't made the lose yet. We'll do that later. That was a freestyle, by the way. So, right, and also sometimes it's not happening right now. But on very rare occasions, let me just show you the ball. So let's say the paddle is here and the ball is right here. Next frame, it updates. It moves 10 steps and it's in here. Or maybe it's going faster because the speed is set higher. And it goes right here, and then it turns around, right? And then and then it starts going out. But let's say it starts going out at a extreme angle. So moving just 10 steps isn't enough to get it out of the contact of the paddle. So what happens is it ends up turning back 180 degrees and starts going towards the paddle again. And then it gets into the paddle, and then it just starts bouncing around in the paddle. And that's not what we want. That will just give the player a bunch of free points as well, which this will also solve. But just to give it even more protection, we're going to say, as soon as this happens, go to motion, move 10 steps. So as soon as it touches it, it's going to turn and it's going to bounce right out. And actually, let's put that to 20 steps. So now if we play this, there's some buffering in between the two objects, and it will no longer go through. Now it still does that thing when I ram it into it, and it still bounces around if I just try and thrust it into the ball. I'm trying to get that right now. Well, if I move this paddle straight into the ball, it still doesn't work. It still isn't doing anything right now because we haven't put anything here. But once we get to the step when we start making our just lose our game over, then we're going to put that in there. So that's it for our ball step. In the next step, we're going to make some scoring and the game over. Alright, in this step, we're going to make the scoring and game over states. And also going to implement speed into the ball. So we're going to make a variable. Go to data, make a variable. And we're going to call this variable score. Click OK. In the beginning, we want score to be 0 because everyone starts at 0. And every time it touches the paddle, we're going to change score by 1. Okay, and actually that's about it for score. We're also going to make another variable called speed. Okay. Set speed to 5 in the beginning. So start slow, and then every time it touches the paddle, change speed by 1. Now we're going to apply speed by making it move speed steps, so it moves as fast as speed. And also this, what if the speed goes past 20? This isn't going to be that good, so we're just going to put speed and then add something to it. Speed plus 10. So that's speed plus a buffer. That's good. So now let's try this. Every time it touches the paddle, speed is going up and your score is going up. Right now I have a score of 2, 3, and it's getting faster. 5 score. And let's just see how far I can go right now. It's really speeding up now. See, the faster it is, the harder the game is going to get. Now we're at 20. Now we're past 20. And it hit the ground right there. I was at like 23. Now, sometimes the speed might get overwhelming. What if someone gets to speed 30 or even 40 and it's just going bam, and you can barely see it flying across the screen? That would just be impossible. So we're going to set a maximum speed of 30 steps. So, go to control, if, and put it only around the speed. So take this bit out of the if statement and put it below. If data speed is operators less than 30, which is our max, then it can change speed by 1. But if it is 30 or more, then it can't. So let's start this project. The score is going up steadily. I'm going to try and get to 30. Actually, I'm just going to set this to 10 just to demonstrate. I'll set it back to 30 later. 7, 8, 9, and now when we get to 10, watch. 10, it's not going any higher. Look at the speed. It won't go any higher than 10. So, now that we know it works, just set it to 30. And, yeah, that should be good. And finally, we're going to make this script functional. No, first we need to make the UN. I mean game over. So we're gonna make a new sprite and convert it to vector this time. Zoom all the way out. Go to text and write game over, all caps. That's great. Make huge. Center it. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now, when flag clicked, it's going to hide, so it looks hide. So it doesn't show up in the beginning of the game. You don't lose as soon as you start the game. The game just started. So, instead of losing then, the ball is going to need to detect when it's passed here and it's hit there. So, we're going to say, if the ball, put that under, if motion Y position of the ball is less than this line along which the paddle slides. So the paddle, if we look up here, it shows you what its coordinates is, -140. So if the ball's Y position is less than -140, that means it's past the paddle and, well, you've lost. So we're going to go to events and make a broadcast and rename this broadcast by right-click and click rename broadcast. And we're going to call this broadcast game over, all caps once again. And then after this, we're going to stop this ball from doing anything. So go to control and don't stop all, because that stops the entire project. Stop other scripts in the sprite, so stop this, and duplicate this, stop this script. Go to paddle, go to events. When I receive game over, so when this thing gets the game over signal, it's also going to stop its stuff. So stop other scripts in the sprite. We don't need to stop this. That's not really doing anything. We just need to stop this. So we don't need to put stop this script there. And in the game over, when it receives game over, it's going to show and it's going to tell everyone that game's over. Go to motion and set this to 0, 0, x0, y0 as well, so that it's centered when the game is over. Right then, we're gonna, oh yeah, we have to fix that script up. So, if it's touching the paddle after waiting 2 seconds, 0.2 seconds, it's also going to broadcast game over. Wait. What if a player accidentally triggers the game over by doing that? So we're actually not going to broadcast game over. We're going to make it go back to the top. We're going to make it go back to the top. So go to 0, 140. So if we what? Oh, okay. I screwed this up. This is actually supposed to be negative 140. Negative 140y. Sorry about that. This value is supposed to be negative 140y. So, let's play this. It's doing pretty well so far. Now, let me try to get it trapped. Should be pretty hard to get it trapped, because as soon as it passes to where you can get it trapped, it's already game over. But we don't even know if this works, but it's very unlikely we're ever going to need it anyways, so we don't really need to test that. So let's give this one final test. We can control our paddle. This ball moves up and down. Our score increases along with our speed of the ball, making the game more challenging. I'm going to try and get to speed 30 to show you guys that there's a maximum, but I might not be able to. I'm going to try to go as far as I can. Oh, it's really... Speed 22 so far. 24, 25, and that's game over. And when we lose, the game over sign pops up, and we know the game's over. Everything stops, and it's just game over. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next video.